All right, everybody, welcome back to the #1 television program in the history of the entire universe. I am Brian Lee Durfee, author of The Forgetting Moon, The Blackest Heart, and The Lonesome Crown, all three books published by Simon & Schuster's Saga Press. Today I'm going to be reviewing A Death in Cornwall by Daniel Silva. This is book number 24 in his Gabriel Allon international spy thriller series. You might be asking, why, pray tell, Durfee, do you have two copies of the book? You've got this hardcover copy, and you've got this paperback copy. Well, it's simple. I used to collect all of these books in the series by Daniel Silva in mass market paperback, but they stopped producing and printing the Daniel Silva books in mass market paperback. So now I've got a decision to make. Do I just stop buying the series altogether out of general principle and a big FU to the publisher? Or do I continue buying it, but do I buy them in the bigger size paperback or hardcover? So I thought I'd give a copy of each and give it a shot. I'll see which one. I don't know even why I did that. Because I know I'm going to collect them in the hardcover. But, so we'll donate this one to children's charities or something like that. I don't know what's going to happen to it. But let's talk about the covers first, because I love graphic design and cover illustration. I think it's a dope cover. There's not much difference between the two, other than on the paperback we have some writing right in the dead center. But it looks like a nice photograph of something that might be on the coast of Cornwall, England, because this is A Death in Cornwall. Book number 24 in the Gabriel Allon series of thrillers. What is it about? Well, Gabriel Allon is about... Well, we'll get into that first, but let's talk about another character first. This book starts with... I just wanted to read the preface. This is the fifth novel in the Gabriel Allon series to be set, in part, in the English country of Cornwall. Gabriel Allon, our main character, took refuge in the village of Port Navas along the banks of the Helford River after the bombing in Vienna that destroyed his first family. So all of these events took place in other books, in the other previous 23 books. It was during this period that he befriended an 11-year-old boy named Timothy Peel. Gabriel returned to Cornwall several years later with his second wife, Chiara, and settled on a cliff-topped cottage in the parish of Gunwallow. Timothy Peel, then a young man in his early 20s, was a frequent visitor. So that sets up kind of this relationship between our main character, Gabriel Allon, and we'll get to who he is in a second, and one of the main characters. Now, I have read and reviewed a handful of other of these books. If you want to... Now, and then they're on my channel. If you want to watch them, just type in Durfee and Daniel Silva. I've got about a half a dozen other book reviews from Daniel Silva, all of them set in this series. If you want to watch those, that's cool. Or we can just continue with this one. But who is Gabriel Allon? Well, on page 16, there was a really good... God, that scared me. My stand almost fell down. Jesus, I don't know if you saw me jump, but holy shit. This is who Gabriel Allon is. The star of this 20-some-odd book series. Gabriel Allon, just in my own words, he's a spy who doubles as a guy, he's an artist, or he's actually an artist who doubles as a spy. But the artwork he does is he restores old classic paintings for a lot of money. So Gabriel's enormous body of work included paintings by Bellini, Titian, Tintoretto, Veronese, Caravaggio, Canaletto, Rembrandt, Rubens, and Anthony van Dyck, all while serving as an undercover operative of Israel's vaunted secret intelligence service. So yes, he's an artist and a spy. I'm an artist and a spy. Many people don't know that, but anyway. What is the book A Death in Cornwall? So for 23 previous novels, Gabriel Allon has done international spy things. Now this book focuses on what would seem to be a simple murder in Cornwall. Which, as I started reading this, I was like, okay, Well, I was reading the John Sandford Prey novels, which started out as simple murder mysteries set in Minnesota. And then by the 30th John Sandford Prey novel, they were no longer about simple murders in Minnesota, but they were about international intrigue. Now, this series was about international intrigue, and now I'm starting to think, is it gonna go back? Is it just gonna be about murders in Cornwall now? Are we just gonna go from an international intrigue series? Are we gonna do the opposite of the John Sandford Prey novels? Are we gonna go from international intrigue to just simple murders in Cornwall? I was like, okay, that's cool. I'm in for it. I'm down. So anyway, at this point in the novel, at this point in the Gabriel Allon's career, he kind of works for his wife Chiara's firm. He carries a gun, even in Britain, which you're not supposed to do, but since he's a Secret Service Israeli commando secret spy, the British intelligence community lets him carry a gun. We won't get into the whole Second Amendment and British gun laws and all that compared to Americans, but that's bizarre that you can't carry a gun in Britain. But, you guys do you over there across the ocean. Is this just a murder mystery? Because we're going to get in the plot in a second. I mean, it kind of seems like this is just going to be a simple murder mystery, not a spy thriller. But either way, it was a chance for Daniel Silva to discuss political tropes like politicians being bought and sold, billionaires corrupting government, all of these things that are probably on Daniel Silva's mind at the time. The main plot, however, is Gabriel Allon comes to London with his gun, packing heat, comes to London to return. There's a stolen Van Gogh has been found and it's being returned to London. The stolen Van Gogh is actually a self-portrait that Van Gogh did of himself. And so that's why Gabriel Allon is in London. Meanwhile, in Cornwall, in a small village in Cornwall, there is a brutal murder. And the investigator of the brutal murder is the young man who I read in the preface, Gabriel's young friend, Timothy Peel, is now a sergeant detective in the Cornwall Police Department, or at least the parish, or whatever, the town that this is taking place in. And so he's investigating this murder. The murder victim is a woman named Charlotte Blake, and she is an Oxford art history professor. So we've got a murder, we've got a stolen Van Gogh that has been found, and we've got a murder, but it might not just be a single murder. It might end up being a diabolical serial killer, and or something even more global is going on. Maybe this isn't just a small town murder mystery. Maybe it involves, like every Gabriel Allon novel so far, it involves art history, the end of the world, global politics, a chase for stolen and looted and stolen artwork, hoarded away for many years from the masses, because that's the way these big billionaires and their companies hide their money, is in stolen art. Started back in World War II, maybe even previous to that. But this is a chase for looted and stolen and hoarded artwork that leads from Cornwall to Corsica and even to the steps of the British Parliament. And it's just a great, great thriller. Like all of the Gabriel Allon thrillers are, this one kind of starts out as small town murder mystery that blows up into big international intrigue. Absolutely fabulous. I hope I did a good job describing it, getting you in. I mean, if you haven't been reading this series and you're a thriller lover, you need to start reading this series. And if you just like books in general, you should just be reading this series. It's a 9 out of 10.